Welcome, friends. Picture this. A little diner in Atlanta, neon lights flickering like they're whispering secrets, the smell of hash browns and coffee floating through the air. It's late, the kind of late where the world feels quiet, but inside this cozy spot, something extraordinary is about to unfold. This is the story of Maya Williams, a 19-year-old waitress with a spark in her eyes and a mind sharper than a chef's knife, and Darius Whitmore, a tech titan whose world is about to be turned upside down by a chance encounter. Grab a seat, get comfy, and let's dive into a tale of grit, brilliance, and the kind of hope that lights up the darkest corners. Oh, and before we start, drop a comment below. Where are you watching this from? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because tomorrow, we've got more stories that'll tug at your heart and lift your spirit. It all begins in the Old Town Cafe, where Maya, in her faded gray apron, wipes down a chipped formica table. She's young, black, and carries herself with a quiet strength, like she's been through storms but still knows how to dance in the rain. Across from her, Darius Whitmore, 48, sits in a crisp navy suit that screams power. He's the king of Whitmore Tech, a billion-dollar empire he built from a tiny Boston code shop. With his piercing blue eyes and razor-cut jawline, Darius is always 3 steps ahead, except tonight. Tonight, he's wrestling with a merger deal worth billions. A stack of legal papers in front of him bleeding red ink. The contract's a beast, one that's already stumped 3 of Atlanta's priciest lawyers. And Darius is in this diner because he needed a place to think, away from his glass-towered boardroom. Maya slides a steaming mug of coffee his way, noticing the furrow in his brow, the way his pen hovers over a clause labeled conditional termination on market disruption. Looks like you're wrestling a bear, she says, her smile warm, like she's inviting him to share the load. Darius barely looks up. It's a contract. You wouldn't understand. His words are sharp, dismissive, but Maya doesn't flinch. I might, she replies, her voice steady, and that's when Darius snaps, his pride bristling. Sweetheart, stick to pouring coffee. Now, friends, this is where the magic happens. Maya stands tall, one hand on her hip, the other reaching for a notepad. Is this the entire contract? She asks, calm as a summer breeze. Darius raises a brow, skeptical. Does it matter? It does, she says firmly. Context changes everything. With a shrug, he gestures to the papers, like he's humoring a kid playing with a toy too big for them. But Maya, she's no kid. Her fingers move with grace as she flips through the pages, her dark eyes scanning the text at a speed that makes Darius blink. The diner hums around them, clinking silverware, soft chatter. But Maya steps into a world of logic and precision, where every word matters. She pauses, pointing to a clause. You've got something here that lets the other company back out if your stock drops more than 7% after the merger's announced. Darius leans forward, surprised. That's not incorrect. Maya nods, still reading. It's vague on what counts as market disruption. That gives them wiggle room, too much wiggle room. And this escrow amount? $400 million locked down with no release triggers? That's not a partnership, that's leverage. Darius's jaw tightens. How do you know all this? Maya doesn't look up. I used to read stuff like this in class. Emory, pre-law, before my mom got sick, before I started flipping pancakes to pay the rent. Something shifts in Darius. He studies her now, not just her words but her steadiness, the way her hands don't tremble. I'm surprised you stayed in town, he says, almost dryly. Maya's eyes meet his, a spark of defiance in them. I'm surprised you walked into this diner thinking you wouldn't find someone smarter than you. Ooh, that line lands like a perfect note in a song. Darius sits back, stunned, and for the first time in months, he's not thinking about stock prices or boardroom battles. He's thinking about the young woman across from him who just sliced through his billion-dollar contract like it was a diner menu. What's your name? He asks. Maya Williams, she replies, wiping her hands on her apron. You ever think about doing more with that sharp mind of yours? Maya's gaze softens, but her voice stays firm. I did. But sometimes life doesn't care about your plans. Silence stretches between them, heavy with possibility. Then Maya pushes the contract back toward him. Fix Clause 7C and add a trigger on the escrow fund. Phase-based release tied to deliverables. Otherwise, they'll squeeze you when you're most vulnerable. Darius stares, jaw tight. You're serious? Maya gives a half-smile. I was serious before you insulted me. Now I'm just being generous. He doesn't reply right away, his eyes flicking to her notepad, where her notes are clear, concise, surgical. Can I buy you a coffee? He asks, a bit awkwardly. Maya glances at his untouched mug. You already did. With that, she turns, walking back to the kitchen, her step steady, her head high. Darius watches her go, then looks down at the contract. For the first time in weeks, the words don't feel like fog. They're starting to make sense. And not because of him. Little does he know, the most important meeting of his life just happened in a diner booth under a flickering neon light, over black coffee and a side of humility. Friends, isn't that moment electric? Two worlds colliding. One spark igniting a fire. Let's pause here. Where are you feeling this story right now? Drop it in the comments and let's keep this vibe going. Subscribe for more tales of everyday heroes turning the world upside down with courage and heart. The neon hum of Old Town Cafe fades as Darius folds the contract and stands, his coffee long cold. Maya's vanished into the kitchen without a backward glance. He lingers by the door, staring at the swinging flap, then leaves without a word. That night, sleep dodges him. In his luxury penthouse downtown, Atlanta's city lights cast fractured shadows across his walls. Maya Williams bothers him. Not because she bruised his ego, though yeah, that stings, but because she scraped against the parts of him he thought were long buried. Her precision, her composure, the way she didn't shrink when he snapped. It replays in his mind like a song he can't shake. By morning, Darius has his legal team re-examine Clause 7C and the escrow triggers. Guess what? Maya was right on both counts. His top attorneys missed what a 19-year-old waitress spotted in minutes. It infuriates him, but it also fascinates him. By Wednesday, he's back at the cafe, standing outside during the lunch rush. Plates clink, conversations murmur through the ajar door. He hesitates, Darius Whitmore hesitating, then steps inside. Heads turn. Not because they know him, but because his suit screams out of place. Maya spots him instantly, weaving between tables with a tray of water glasses, her hair in a low puff, her sneakers scuffed. Back for the eggs? She asks, her tone neutral but aware. Back for you? He replies, blunt as ever. A pause. Maya sets the tray down, leaning forward. I'm working. Won't take long, Darius says. I just want to say thank you. You saved me from a disaster, millions at least. Maya blinks slowly. You sure you want to be seen thanking a waitress? Darius slides onto a stool. That's the thing. I'm not sure you're just a waitress. She tilts her head, arms crossed. What else do you think I am? Someone who sees through systems, through language. Someone who, given a chance, might outthink every junior associate in my firm. Maya stares, unblinking. So what? You offering me a job? Not exactly, he says. I'm offering a conversation. Off the clock. Just a chat. Coffee. My treat this time. She studies him, then nods. Come back at 10. My shift ends. If you're serious, you'll wait. I'm serious, he says. Then we'll see. She replies, walking away. 10 p.m. rolls around, and the cafe's quiet. The jukebox veterans are gone. The dishwasher hums in the back. Maya emerges, apron off, hair down, and slides into the same booth. You're persistent, she says. Darius leans forward. I'm curious. How does someone like you end up here? Not in a courtroom or a DC desk, but at this counter. Maya takes a deep breath. Life doesn't follow a script, Mr. Whitmore. I had a plan, pre-law at Emory, full ride, mock trial champ. Then my mom's kidneys failed. Dialysis 3 times a week, Medicaid barely covering it. My little brother started getting into fights at school. Bills piled up. School had to wait. Her voice carries no pity, just truth. I kept studying on my own. Law journals, legal blogs, anything I could find. Even started coding, working on a legal literacy app for teens. Something simple, interactive, contract translation tools, stuff like that. But who's gonna take a waitress with a half-finished degree seriously? I would, Darius says without hesitation. Maya raises a brow. You? The guy who called me sweetheart and told me to stick to coffee. His jaw clenches. I deserved that. Yes, she says simply. But I'm not stupid, he adds. I've built a career spotting ideas before they go mainstream. I know talent when I see it, Maya, and what I saw the other night. That wasn't casual. That was brilliance. Maya looks down, her fingers tracing the table's edge. I'm not asking for charity. Good, he says. I'm not offering it. I'm offering partnership. I want to help you build your app, resources, developers, funding. You lead, I back you. Maya doesn't answer right away. She glances out the window, where streetlights spill gold onto the pavement. You know the hardest part of being invisible? She says softly. It's not that people don't see you. It's that they look right at you and decide you're not worth seeing. Darius's voice drops. Then let's make them look again. Her eyes meet his. Okay, she whispers. But I don't want to be your project. I want to be your equal. You will be, he promises. Outside, Atlanta buzzes. But in that booth, something louder hums. Possibility. Maya feels the weight of her ideas being taken seriously for the first time in years, and Darius feels something new. Hope, not in numbers or margins, but in people. They clink coffee mugs, sealing a deal that's about to change everything. Friends, can you feel it? That moment when a dream starts to breathe? Let's keep going. This story's just getting started. 3 days later, Maya steps into Whitmore Tech's headquarters, 29th floor, Boardroom West. The place is too quiet, too polished, like a spaceship masquerading as an office. She smooths her thrifted navy blouse, clutching a worn leather binder with sketches of her app, Lawbridge. The security guards already checked her ID twice. The receptionist paused, blinked and said, Waitress Maya, like it was a joke, but Maya keeps her chin high. Darius is waiting inside, a sleek tablet in front of him. He smiles, almost nervous. A side of him Maya's never seen. Come on in. It's just us, he says. She nods, but her back stays straight. Just us doesn't erase the sting of those looks at the front desk. As she sits, Darius gestures to a chair. Our dev team mocked up some early designs for the interface. Thought you'd want to look. Maya opens her binder instead. Before we dive in, I want to go over core priorities. The app has to be accessible visually, linguistically. We're talking high schoolers, working-class adults, people for whom English isn't their first language. Darius leans forward, intrigued. Go on. I want layered content, she continues. Interactive scenarios showing what happens when you sign a lease, get pulled over, or apply for unemployment. Real things, real consequences in plain language. Law shouldn't feel like a weapon only a few people can wield. Darius nods slowly. You think of all this on your own? She shrugs. I listen, and I've been poor. That's a hell of an education. He smiles, but the moment's cut short by a knock. It's Raymond Teller, Darius's senior VP of Legal Affairs, late 40s, in a pressed gray suit, his jaw too tight to be friendly. He steps in with a folder, his gaze flicking to Maya with thinly veiled skepticism. I thought we were having a closed session, he says. We are, Darius replies. Maya's part of this now. Raymond gives a tight smile. Right? The waitress. Maya doesn't flinch. Still do weekends at Old Town. Tips are better than you think. Darius stands. Raymond, Maya caught 2 kill clauses in that merger doc your entire team missed. Raymond's tone is polite but sharp. Well, I'm sure she's very intuitive. She's leading the app project, Darius says plainly. I'd like your team to support her with legal vetting and IP frameworks. Raymond raises an eyebrow. You're serious? I'm not in the habit of joking with 9 figures on the line. Raymond nods, but his face says he's not on board. After he leaves, Maya looks down. He's not gonna help me. He's gonna stall me. Darius sighs. He's old school. He's a gatekeeper, she corrects. And I'm not the kind of person he ever imagined walking through the gate. Darius rubs his jaw. Want me to fire him? Maya meets his eyes. No, I want to earn this, not inherit it. Let me deal with him. But when I ask for something, I need to know you've got my back. You have it, he promises. That night, Maya works alone in her apartment, her little brother Marcus doing algebra on the couch, their mom dozing nearby with a heating pad. The place smells of Vicks and spaghetti. On the coffee table sits a duct-taped Chromebook, Maya's entire dev lab. She clicks through code snippets and layout sketches, her brain aching but pushing forward. Marcus breaks the silence. You think they're gonna let you finish it? She turns. Finish what? The app, the court stuff. You think those rich guys are really gonna let you? She stares, unsure, then says, I'm not waiting for permission. He nods, quiet, and goes back to his math. The next morning, Maya's back at Whitmore Tech with 4 wireframes, a sample module, and a proposal listing 10 community-based beta testers. Raymond skips the meeting, his assistant forwarding a redlined version of her doc with the note, too ambitious, suggests scaling back to protect liability. Maya reads it, prints her original version, and marches to Darius's office. She drops both copies on his desk. I'm not scaling back. He reads silently, then looks up. You're right. We go with your version. That easy? She asks. He shrugs. Not easy. Necessary. She smiles, a small, private victory. At the door, she pauses. He's gonna keep blocking me. I know, Darius says. Be ready. I'm always ready, she replies, stepping into the elevator. Something's shifted, not just in how Darius sees her, but in how she sees herself. She's not playing defense anymore. She's building something, and no suit's gonna stop her. The prototype comes alive on a quiet Sunday morning. Maya in pajamas, cross-legged on her living room floor, Marcus snoring on the couch. Her fingers hover over the keyboard, heart racing as the interface she's dreamed of for 2 years blinks into view. Clean lines, simple language, a start button shaped like a gavel. She hits begin. The screen loads a scenario. You've been pulled over by a police officer. What are your rights? 3 buttons, say nothing, ask why, reach for license, each leading to animated outcomes, some escalating, others de-escalating. Her voice, recorded at midnight, narrates. Steady, patient, human. It's not perfect, clunky fonts, jerky animations, but it works. Maya exhales. It lives, she whispers. At 9:07 a.m., she emails Darius the link. Subject, first breath. He calls 30 minutes later. Is this real? He asks, breathless. You tell me, she says. I've never seen anything like this, he murmurs. You made this on a Chromebook? Yeah, she laughs. And half a bottle of instant coffee. He chuckles. I'm showing this to our UX team today, with your permission. You don't need my permission, she says. You need my voice in the room. That afternoon, she walks into Whitmore Tech's innovation lab, binder under her arm, back straight. The glass-walled, sun-drenched room is filled with developers in hoodies who barely glance up until Darius announces. Everyone, this is Maya Williams. She built what you're about to see from scratch, and she's leading this project moving forward. That gets their attention. Some nod, others exchange glances. A woman in her 30s with pink hair and a Stanford hoodie grins. Hell yeah. Maya launches the demo, and for 15 minutes, the room's silent except for mouse clicks and her app's voice. Scenarios, choices, legal explanations in plain speech. At the end, applause breaks out. Not thunderous, but real. A developer, Luis, leans forward. We can polish the animations, optimize for mobile. The flow's intuitive, the logic path's tight. Another asks, where'd you learn design? Maya shrugs. From mistakes, and from watching how people get hurt when they don't know their rights. Over the next 2 weeks, Maya's a fixture in the lab, sitting through UI debates, leading storyboarding, holding late-night huddles fueled by diner leftovers. She's younger, less educated, the only black woman in most rooms, but she doesn't let it stop her. Darius backs her at every meeting, watching as she forms a leadership style unlike his. She asks questions, lets junior designers test ideas, listens. The app evolves, becoming more than Lawbridge. It's a movement. Then comes the school pilot. Maya suggests testing it in 3 Atlanta high schools with at-risk youth. She and Marcus print flyers, hand them out at football games and bus stops. On a chilly Tuesday, she stands before 30 seniors at Langston Prep, in a blazer over her diner uniform, her only professional jacket. Ever wonder what happens if a landlord keeps your deposit? She asks. A girl in the back raises her hand. They keep it. You can't do nothing. That's what I thought too, Maya says. Until I learned there's a legal deadline. And if they miss it, you can file a claim. No lawyer needed, just a form. The class leans in, curious. Afterward, a tall, skinny student with a tear-shaped scar lingers. You really make this? He asks. Every word, she replies. My mom signed some papers last year she didn't understand. Now we're getting evicted. Maya's chest tightens. Show me what she signed. I'll walk you through it. He nods, whispering, no one ever talks to us like we matter. Maya watches him go, her throat burning. She knows that feeling, being invisible. That night, on her apartment's fire escape, laptop on her knees, Darius calls. You okay? She tells him about the student, the pilot, the beta users. You've started something, Maya, he says softly. Do you realize that? I don't want it to be mine alone, she replies. I want it to belong to every kid who's signed something they didn't understand. Darius is quiet, then says, come in tomorrow. We're talking scaling, funding, and putting your name on the masthead. Maya stares at the city lights, sirens wailing in the distance. She's bone-tired but alive. Okay, she whispers, but you better be ready to build something they can't ignore. And from that moment, neither looks back. But here's where the plot thickens. Friends, success doesn't come without shadows. It starts subtly. A postponed meeting, a delayed file, passwords expiring, calendar invites vanishing. By the second week of the school pilot, Maya feels the drag. On Tuesday, her access badge deactivates. The receptionist, all painted nails and indifference, says, you're not in the system this week. Maya keeps her cool. That's not possible. I've got a standing pass. Sorry, you'll need clearance. An hour later, a facilities guy opens the door, but the team meeting's already started, without her. Inside, Raymond Teller stands at the whiteboard, leading a discussion on refocusing Lawbridge scope. The air feels cold. Maya, he says with a thin smile, glad you could join us. We're rethinking rollout strategy due to liability concerns. Whose concerns? She asks, setting her bag down. A few board members, investors, he replies. They're worried the app's language could be seen as legal advice. Maya folds her arms. It's not advice. It's education. Every scenario's based on public statutes, coded with disclaimers. Raymond nods, still smiling like he's indulging a child. Even so, we have a reputation to protect. We might dial back school outreach, limit to private beta for now. No, Maya says, calm but firm. Those students are why this exists. Scaling back isn't protecting the company. It's protecting old systems. One night, Maya returns to Old Town Cafe. Same chip tiles, same neon flicker. She sits in the booth from that night a year ago. Darius joins, 2 coffees. Ever think it'd come to this? He asks. I didn't, she says. He nods. Funny, neither did I. Do you regret it? She asks. Taking the bet on me? You weren't the bet, she says. The truth was. A new waitress, nervous, afro in a puff, approaches, recognizing Maya. You're her. The app lady, right? Maya grins. I am. My aunt used your app to get her job back after being fired wrongfully. She says thank you. Maya takes the girl's hand. Tell her she did it. I just handed her the flashlight. Darius raises his mug. To the ones who never got a second look. Maya lifts hers. And the ones who made them look again. They clink mugs, no press, no headlines, just two people who built something that'll outlast them. Outside, Atlanta's lights shine, quiet, steady, just like justice.